thing. So
I just call them. Yeah, I don't refer to them by their stage names at this point. They're like my like old friends. I'm like, oh yeah, Yoongi, like whatever. Like,
well, I had to excuse myself to the bathroom because I didn't want to like double check in front of them in case I was wrong, even though I knew I wasn't wrong. And then I looked it up and I went, you know what? How do you say?
oh my god,
Yeah.
I thought that was an animal. It's like Andrew.
It is. It's a giant animal.
I thought you just
animal
picked
has
it up with
entered
one
the
hand.
recording studio. The recording studio that's
Your couch.
our couch with wood paneling.
Well, I'm in. Oh no, sorry, I'm at my boyfriend's house. There's wood paneling upstairs, but not
No,
down here.
much edgier than your room. Like
It's
like your room
what?
is like your room has like so like not to like put your room on blast, but it's like it's kind of mood. But your room has like such like a like there's it looks like if you didn't tend to it for a day, plants would grow there.
Yeah.
Like just out of the floor and
in
not
like a good way. Okay.
not a bad way, but like
Yeah.
plants would just that would happen. That's what would
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
Whereas the room that you're in now, it looks like it's raining outside.
Yeah, it's just hella dark. I don't like.
And
There's
just
no
it's like a
lights in
blue-
here.
There's a blue light, and the painting behind you looks super sad. I don't even know what it is.
It's of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, sad as hell.
Maybe it's
It
just
looks much
raining.
less sad in the light.
Yeah, maybe it is raining inside. Kertu, is there rain falling on your head? Can you confirm? Are there raindrops keep falling on your head?
No, they
keep
do not.
falling.
They are not. They are not. They're not falling. I'm afraid.
What?
CC me on that.
Oh shit! Were we recording?
You got mail.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of CC me on that. It's been over a week because yours truly. Well, actually, it wasn't me.
It was you.
No, it wasn't. It was Zoom. Zoom deleted the recording.
Oh, what the fuck?
Wait, is that what happened? Because there are ways to access old recordings.
No. It said no old recordings. Like I went to like, all right, where's my backup? And they're like, oh, it's all clear, sir.
Andrew lost an entire episode.
That sucks.
Let's recap. What did we talk about? I railed against people for talking about autism. I talked about how TikTok educates autistic people on how to feel about their autism.
Oh. Wow.
What else did we talk
Spicy.
about? I think we talked about WandaVision a lot.
We talked a little bit about WandaVision. Oh, we talked about people blasting casting stuff.
Oh yeah, people talking about how
I shared my opinion. I
matter.
shared my opinion on like what should go into casting. And I do not believe I ever want to be cast. We get my problem with the whole, and I'll just share this quickly, and I don't want to get lost on it because I could get lost on it for hours. I could talk about it every week and just waste my whole time. But I never want it to be like one of those things where like, oh, you're autistic. Here's your little box.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that certain things that are physical, that should go into casting. When you're casting something physical, like, for example, skin color, or size of head, or size of body.
Or size of dick for Watchmen.
Oh, yes, that's true, too.
Exactly.
I started
You got the
thinking,
right idea.
it's entirely too large. That man,
Who?
a character in Watchmen walks around with his pants down.
He doesn't wear any clothes at all.
And his
Phallus
his
is
schlong
massive.
is just too large. It shouldn't be. It's not allowed.
Oh.
You think that it would make you jealous, but
Like,
really it just makes you want hidden.
You see this dog tail?
No,
dwarfed.
stop.
It's dwarfed in comparison. It makes you quake at the very sight of it.
Both good and bad quake.
Both good and bad quakes.
Oh,
But
no.
but like physical disability, yes, that should be part of it. But I get kind of iffy on the mental disability part because I get people who get so obsessed with being like, all right, we need to find an autistic actor to play this autistic role. because only they can understand what it's like. However, first of all, one, acting is acting. If you can do the research, I believe that you can play a character if you're playing it correctly. Obviously, if you're going to do a character, you're wrong and you're going to get fired. However, saying that kind of stuff is totally boiling down that person's experience on the autism spectrum to what you need in your play. Like, just because my autism is not like Christopher's from Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be able to add anything except for the fact that I also scream at rats in sewers. Like that's what I can bring. That's all I can bring. So with that kind of stuff, I'm like, look, of course, if you have the opportunity, cast somebody with a personal experience. Always do that for any role. Mm-hmm. Absolutely any role. But if you have somebody you want to use, don't feel like you can't use them just because they don't fill every single little box that the character is. Remember, it is acting. Just because I'm not a Presbyterian doesn't mean I can't play a Presbyterian minister.
Presbyterian and being autistic are not the same things.
Look, as someone who wants to be Presbyterian and is autistic, I could
Presbyterian stands rise up.
I found out Presbyterians are super, super progressive.
Really? I don't know anything about it.
I had no idea, but apparently...
Isn't that one church by Queen City Comics, a Presbyterian church?
Oh, they might be. But, like, I found out that Presbyterians are, like, super progressive. Like, and I didn't know anything about them growing up. I just knew that, one of the other groups is called Presbyterians.
Yeah,
that's much. A long name. I'm not going to say it. But what ended up happening is I found out this week that Presbyterians are like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Jesus loves you, we love you, everybody, come on in.
Wow. Love that for them.
I'm like, I can vibe with as a Baptist whose father was raised Catholic, whose father is a pastor who's raised Catholic and is now a Baptist minister, or was a Baptist minister, who, I'll tell you what, he preached the hell out of that pulpit. He was so good. Like, I want to have him on. He'll never come on the podcast, but I want to have him on to do an old sermon. Like, he's so good at telling stories.
So, but you just want to continue the family tradition of switching which type of Christian you are?
Well, yes, partially yes, but also because I don't fit in with Baptists, because Baptists are gross.
Oh.
I'm telling your dad.
Poor Joe.
They agree. Okay. We're all Baptists, and we low-key agree. I'm not a big fan of a lot of that stuff. It's a lot of, like, they're like, hey, you know what? Make sure that the most important thing is your personal relationship with God. And then they're like, all right, how's it going? We're going to check up on your personal relationship with God. All right, hey, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Oh, is that an abortion? Haha, no, thank you. And I'm like, if I want to get one, I should be able to get one.
Yeah, abortion rights for men, I think, is the most slept on topic. I think
I can't get an abortion.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, all we need to do is to get abortion legalized is convince Ted Cruz he wants one. We gotta gaslight Ted Cruz into thinking he
hypnotize him, be like,
right, everybody's listening to this podcast, start tweeting at Ted Cruz that he looks like he's got a little bit of a glow, and also that he looks like he's gained a little bit of weight.
Well, both of those things are true. It's sweat and he's fat.
Yeah,
so, but exactly. Just convince him that it's pregnancy.
He'll never know.
So that's why that thing on my belly's been moving.
Oh no! Oh God!
Oh goodness! Well, it's good to have you back, Kertu. We're so super excited.
I'm excited. I wanted to come back on.
Well, we're glad. We had. Well, I gotta tell you, your father's episode was absolutely hilarious. I'll tell you what, we've never had so much song.
Oh, yes.
On that podcast.
With him and Jerry, no chance. Like,
we think probably it would have been beneficial to have like a space where we could get a little better, tighter recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an echo, but that is not a problem because if you're in a room with Kevin, his voice already.
Yeah.
even
Nope.
if there's no acoustics. Like it
He
echoes from
projects.
within his jaw.
He's an actor, as he would probably say. He knows how to project. He knows how to. He knows how to present to a group, how to perform.
Absolutely. As we all do,
God.
especially Nathan, because as a fencer, oh, you got your fencing patch.
Yeah.
Wow!
Why is it not
Congrats.
really on there?
Because I'm bad at sewing.
That's really sad. I just noticed that like all of your patches just really aren't on your jacket.
Wow,
Okay,
flame
this
him.
one is
Damn.
actually really on. It just
Does that say
doesn't look-
U.S. Air Force?
Yes.
Are you impersonating a U.S.
Wow.
Oh, no, I got this when I went to visit Andy while I was in basic.
An army simp.
You're basic?
While he was in
Wow.
basic, you whore.
I'm not a whore. Don't call me a whore.
You're a whore.
So upset.
Not a whore. You're a whore.
That's true. I accept and admit.
But
Oh,
I have nothing to accept or admit.
That's true. You're kind of a one-shot wonder.
Look, I'm on the spectrum, but you don't need to be traveling it.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome to our episode. We've decided to use all of our worst jokes on your episode.
I cannot wait. I love bad jokes.
Wait, we're so close to 9/11 jokes being okay.
Yeah, this year 9/11
What?
jokes are allowed.
Oh, okay.
20 years after a historical event, you can finally make fun of it.
Oh, then it's like PC. Like
Even though we made
Yeah,
fun
then
of
it's
it a couple
PC.
months ago.
In 8 months, you guys are going to be seeing so many, like the parody movies, like
Yeah.
Meet the Spartans.
Oh, no.
They'll all be back, except it'll be like airplane parody movies. And
Oh
it'll
God.
end with a big crash, and everyone will laugh because they'll have filmed it when 9/11's funny again.
Oh.
It's like a cultural shift. It's
Snakes on a
like
plane
the
too.
cultural shift that occurred when 9/11 happened.
But it's the opposite. It reverts back after 20 years after a tragedy.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is why World War II has always been funny.
Oh.
Even while it was happening.
I with stuff like historical events like that, I'm just like, I can't tell if I'm not smart or if I just don't care about historical events, because people will like reference stuff like that. They'll like reference wars, and I just won't know what they're talking about a lot of the time. Like
Yeah. Nathan said the other day, he's like, "You ever heard of Auschwitz?" And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
well, I mean, I know about like all the big stuff that happened. Like I know,
Oh, yeah,
I know.
of course.
Yeah.
All intents and purposes, that was a fake story. That wasn't real, listeners.
For legal reasons, that was a
Wait,
joke.
I thought that was true.
No, it wasn't. That was
Oh.
you that didn't know what it was.
I was
Tragic.
talking to myself, and I went, Nathan, you know what Auschwitz is? And I went, no, what's that?
And then you were
You're
fucking the history major.
And then I taught myself Auschwitz. What? I taught myself Auschwitz!
I don't know that that's how that works.
Moving on.
I'm not confident.
Listen, I'm the education major here. I know how teaching works. You can teach yourself
True.
knowledge that you
True.
already knew.
But you can't
Yeah,
teach
you can
me
just
because
like
you don't teach
skip
special
over
ed.
it. Yeah.
No, you're a lost cause.
Sorry, we interrupted you while you were speaking ever so eloquently.
Was I? Oh, I was just saying I don't
You're
know about
speaking.
historical events. But like, cause I know about like, you know, stuff. I know about like the Hitler business.
Yeah,
But-
like something.
You started a business?
Yeah, you know, the business. But like if someone were to reference,
Yeah, he did.
oh,
It's the Third Reich Bakery.
oh, yeesh, yeesh.
I
Oh my-
thought it was a gas company.
All right, and that concludes this week's podcast. Everyone, thank you for listening.
You see that? You see how I'm carrying this dog right now? For our audio listeners, I'm carrying it the way Abraham carries the sheep before he sent it to slaughter. He's trying to carry you before I rip your guts out. God.
my god.
We're all going to hell, and we're all going to burn.
Listen, I have literally just been trying to say I don't know history. I did nothing here. I did not mean to contribute to this at all.
I tell you what, hell wouldn't be too bad, though. You know why?
Because there's gay people there?
There's gay,
True.
bisexual people in hell.
You're so correct.
Like Zagreus.
Mm-hmm. That's where I thought we were going with this.
Exactly. I got Kertu hooked on Hades.
You did in fact. I have not gotten to play it much, sadly, but I've gotten to play it enough.
That's okay.
What's the
You'll get
sweet
there.
boy's name?
My Hypnos?
Hypnos. That's my
Why is Hypnos your favorite?
He's my hell gay.
Hey,
Hell
Kertu, you want to hear his
What?
hot takes?
Oh god.
He's got hot
Okay.
take.
I don't like the voice acting for Zagreus.
Yeah.
I also don't like the voice acting for Zeus. Those are my hot takes.
Bruh. Why?
I just don't like them.
He's not into feeling turned on while he's playing video games.
Yeah, I
Zagreus
guess
does
not
turn me
clearly.
on. Zagreus.
How? Stop. That's my like third boyfriend. How dare you?
Who's the second?
Tantalus.
Or Thanatos?
Thanatos?
Not Tantalus, sorry.
Thanatos.
Is he my hot emo boy that I was obsessed
The
with?
one with the scythe.
I haven't seen him in this game actually.
Yeah, no, you don't see him until later. He shows
Yeah,
up
I
and
haven't-
says, hey, you literally left me in the bed. Why did you leave? I hate
Wait,
you.
you fuck him?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Actually, in the game?
There are 3 different romance paths.
And it's
what?
oh, so that's what the bed's for. For
Yes.
fucking death? You get to fuck death?
And Megara.
You're
For real?
Hercules?
Different Megara.
Oh.
He never got married to the Fury one.
Cock Hercules.
That'd be wild. Hercules, like big buff Hercules with Megara.
No, I do
Like
it too. Hot take.
Zagreus is fit, but like Hercules, you know he looks like fucking Hulk.
He's a himbo.
Oh, yeah, true. That's actually really real. Him and Sisyphus,
third option.
himbos. Himbo rights.
Musa.
The floating head?
Yes.
That's not great sex.
The fan art would tell you differently.
It's all aura.
There's so much fan art. It's so wild. Like if you go on the subreddit, which I don't recommend either of you do because there's tons of spoilers.
Yeah.
But if you go on the subreddit, like you can't scroll down far enough before getting to a post that someone says this belongs on NSFW Hades.
So, why didn't
I
they
mean,
give
yeah.
her a body?
Because she got her head chopped off.
She
Who
got a
is this?
ghost body.
Medusa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is she Medusa?
Yes!
What?
You didn't get that? She's a Gorgon? She's just a head?
I thought she was a
It's
different
only-
Gorgon.
Dude, it's only missing 2 letters.
Yeah, but I just assumed. I don't know. I just assumed it was a different Gorgon.
Hey, what are you doing? You're going to step up and tell me that this is the right Gorgon? I don't know what you're talking about.
What? There's the other 2?
Bring me a seat.
No. What are the other Gorgons' names? History major.
Fucking, okay, ready? Hey, hey Siri. How many Gorgons are there?
There's 3, aren't there? There's 3 main ones, but there are like I think there are several.
There are 28 people named Gorgon. No,
Nice.
sorry, Gorge.
Go-
There are 2,128 people. Expected total number alive today named Gorge in the U.S. population.
Oh wait, no. Hold up. I got it. So there are 3 main Gorgons: Medusa, Stheno, and Uriel. But I don't know if there are any more. Hello.
Yeah, well, thank God they're not in the game because they sound ugly as hell. Not like my girl.
At least they have a body.
No, they wouldn't. 'Cause all Gorgons in the game are bodiless.
Well, okay. So here's the thing, right?
That
Like,
was a reference to them cutting her head off.
Because Perseus went around and cut off all the Gorgons' head.
Nuh-uh. Percy Jackson did it.
God damn it.
And the light.
I'm gonna push your teeth together. So you don't have a gap anymore.
Damn.
And I'm gonna crush your one nut
Oh. That's just uncalled for.
like a grapefruit because it's that
Oh,
fucking big.
Oh my
what? Oh, how do you crush a grapefruit?
What if me and the guy from Watchmen got together?
And
No,
combined
I
your
don't.
one massive nut into one
I
massive
hate
nut.
this.
Would he keep his old
despise
balls?
I don't know. Are we just putting them in the same ring?
Oh,
Oh, I don't
Is
want
this like a boxing match? Your ball versus his dick?
No, I'd
God.
get stage fright. I'd get stage fright if I was next to him in real life. Kertu, you've seen Greatest Showman, right?
Yes.
Well, it's the guy who plays Zendaya's brother.
I don't remember. I don't.
I
Have
don't
you seen the
know.
Aquaman movie?
Of course she hasn't
No.
seen Aquaman.
That's a
Why would
horrible
anyone
way-
see Aquaman?
Because he's the best
Jason
superhero.
Momoa.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about
I'm in.
Aquaman.
The way I'd risk it all for Jason Momoa, truly.
The
Like,
way I did it all for Jeremy Irons.
You're not allowed to love Jason Momoa unless you've seen the movie. So watch the movie.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you
wow.
Jason Momoa gatekeeping?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I-
was about to say gatekeeping.
I'm gatekeeping that man.
Whoa!
Gatekeeping
Not
that
Having it
delicious hunk of man.
today.
Well, he plays the main villain.
He
well,
plays.
kind of the main villain in
He
the
plays
movie.
his arch nemesis in the movie.
Yes.
The guy we're talking about with the giant schlong.
Oh, okay.
He
I thought you were
plays
talking about
Black
Aquaman.
Manta.
I was like, how does that work?
Let me pull up a picture and put him on the camera. Talk about something. Go.
Are you pulling up a picture of his schlong or just him?
Ooh, I could. But no.
I don't know that you could. Is Jason Momoa's penis public domain?
Probably.
Wait. I think we're showing a picture of not Jason Momoa.
But I wasn't
but
pulling up Jason Momoa. Look
Call
at him.
that pubic domain, huh? What? Who is this?
Look at him. His name's Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Wow, what a title!
I know. He's just.
Now pull up a picture of his dick.
He looks like he'd spit on me and call me poor, but in like a good way, you know?
I mean, if you asked him to.
Like he'd do it, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings because he'd probably be right. Like
It's 'cause it's on
you know?
Fiverr. That's why. That's why he did it.
Oh,
He ordered it on Fiverr.
no, not Fiverr.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
I think it's so cool because he was like he started out like in nothing. And then he was because he was a dancer and he got cast in Greatest Showman. And then boom, now he's playing all these huge roles. Like he was in Trial of the Chicago 7.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a hurtful statement you're making about dancers there, Andrew.
No, I mean like
Dancers suck.
Wow.
it
No
would have been
dancer right
great
now,
like
apparently.
on stage, but name a dancer that got their start in Hollywood because they were a dancer in a musical.
Zac Efron.
There's a review for a High School Musical 2 called "Not Nearly as Good as the First."
Oh.
Rich white boy gets sad on golf course. Can't relate.
As if Bet
Top
on It isn't
favorite
the
movie.
best number.
Is it?
Of course it's not.
Oh, I get it. Because golf course.
Oh my god, fun fact,
Why
High
is
School
not?
Musical
It's a
3 came
terrible
out
movie.
on my
and he's a
birthday.
terrible president.
You just talked over her too.
Wow.
And in February too.
I'm gonna use that during Black History Month.
Get your butt back down here. We're recording the podcast, sir.
Wow. Oh, what was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying.
We're talking
That
about
really-
join the side of the oppressor.
Oh, wow.
He stands behind me now.
So menacing.
Get your ass back down here.
Oh my god, what's that clip from
But Hades is
SpongeBob?
so good. Hades is just, it's wonderful. It's like perfect for right now
Yeah.
because we're all trying to escape our own little hell. so our goals match up with Zagreus's.
I'm not trying
True.
to keep my little house. I'm trying to stay here forever.
Stay where?
Oh.
Right here.
In this basement?
No.
He's trying to make this hell a home.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who would have those signs up in their house?
No, God. Hopefully no.
I don't think so.
I know 2 people. I go to school with one.
I feel like
And,
Peyton would put them up
I was
ironic.
about to say, yeah,
no,
Peyton.
are you kidding me? Our fucking kitchen's gonna be chicken themed.
Oh, true. That's actually.
And I told her that it was okay as long as I get to design half, and my half is gonna be fried chicken themed. So the regular
sick.
chicken had to look at fried chicken and
Mhm.
contemplate their reality.
You could also
No, I think that's a smart one.
I'll just put up a cane sign above the sink.
like certified caniacs.
Speaking of
all over the sink.
above the sink, my sister hung a Pop-Tart in our window box the other day.
I love that for her.
She hung a Pop-Tart and she's like, hey, did anybody see my Pop-Tart? And I was like, yeah. My dad stood at the sink for almost 10 minutes just looking at it at different angles, trying to figure out what it was.
your window.
Yes. Above the sink.
Oh.
I love your family so much.
Somebody needs to make a WandaVision, but about us.
Not even just like just like walk around and record your family for like a day. That's all they need.
I'll send it into E. We'll do it special.
Please.
Be like, what do you have to entertain us with? Well, we're not celebrities, but we're not normal.
That is an apt description for my father as well, I think. Not celebrities, but we're not normal.
I feel like I need to cast your father and his fiance though, because we'd need someone to walk into the house sometimes unannounced.
And they would. They absolutely would.
Absolutely. They'd be like, "We're home," and then like the sitcom music would play, and then
They just walk in with like a Riesling bottle, like, "Hey guys, how are we doing?" Like,
we don't drink in this house. Just kidding. And then we all pull out vodka
laugh
from our
track.
buckets. Every single one of us, even Nicole.
You act like Nicole's the only member that isn't under 21, or that is under 21. You got 3 younger siblings. None of them are 21 yet.
Yeah, but technically, when you walk into this actually, because it's an embassy, it's actually European
country?
soil.
For which country?
The EU.
It's the EU embassy.
The European Union embassy. I've been watching a lot of The Simpsons, and there's a really funny episode where Bart places a collect call because he's really confused about how toilet water goes down opposite in the southern hemisphere. And so he places a collect call to Australia to find out. And he says, "Hey, this is the fucking toilet water specialist. You need to go check your toilet." And they're like, "Who?" And he's like, "You need to collect this call. It's an emergency." And they're like, "Okay." And he says, go find your neighbor's toilet and confirm that it does the same thing. But they're in the outback in Australia. So this kid goes out on his tricycle and he rides for like 500 miles to find his neighbor.
God.
And then it turns out that he made them pay in Australian dollars, which are in the 60s, which is called dollary dues. Which, by the
are
way,
you telling me that's not what their money's really called?
Which, by the way, I found out that almost 80,000 people signed a petition to change Australia's currency official name to dollary dues because of it. Because Market Proof showed that it made Americans more interested in Australia because they had dollary dues. But the best part of the episode is when they get to the U.S. Embassy and there's a giant machine hooked up to the toilet that makes the toilet water go down in the way that it goes down in America.
What?
That launches water the opposite direction that it would go in the southern hemisphere.
Jesus. Are you okay? You look so belabored by that story.
I just had a bit of a flashback to Mr. Burns where I explained another Simpsons episode.
Oh, you looked like you'd seen like the Vietnam War with your own two eyes.
I have
In Watchmen.
no in a fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival music video.
True.
Or in the Watchmen movie, because that one didn't last very long. Because Dr.
Manhattan went pop.
Went pop, pop, look at my cop.
Whoa! Not during the Vietnam War.
That's true, he didn't wear underwear.
He wore underwear then. You can actually track the passage of time in the Watchmen universe based on how much clothes Dr. Manhattan's wearing.
Wow.
Because
I
as he
didn't know
gets
that.
closer and closer to present, he stops caring about his dong being out.
Don't we all?
We fall in on Mars.
Sailors fighting in a dance hall. Oh, I miss David Bowie.
Oh, I was thinking of the musical. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's this musical called Lazarus that is a David Bowie. It's a David Bowie jukebox musical. Why am I blanking on her name? Sophia Ann Caruso, who plays Lydia in Beetlejuice. She was in it, and she sings.
Is she the one with the voice that sounds like a mouse?
Stop! I adore her. Don't make fun of her. I want to be her.
Too. Her voice sounds like one of the chipmunks.
Stop! No,
Sorry,
it doesn't.
no, she's one of the Chipettes. Which one is she? Is she Brittany?
I'm not going to engage with this. I'm not engaging with this. I
Okay.
refuse.
Our audience will.
But no, she plays like the female lead, I think, in that show. I've never seen it. I've just listened to some of the soundtrack. And it made me want to bring in some David Bowie songs to my voice lessons. Is really all I wanted to say. I really like that musical.
Oh, absolutely. All I know about David Bowie musicals is they tried to do, after Rocket Man was a huge success, a producer and writer and director tried to do them with David Bowie.
I knew that was going to happen.
But David Bowie's estate was like, no.
Oh.
And so they've done one with all of the names changed and new songs written that just kind of sound like David Bowie songs.
Come on.
The same story.
Just pick a different musician. Oh my god.
And it's just so funny because it's like those jokes you hear. It's like, oh, this isn't David Bowie. It's Dorvid Doobie. And you go like, this is not interesting. Why are you making this movie? And they're like, to make money. Because all you have to do is paint a lightning bolt on his face and your grandma's going to show up.
Just do it about the Beatles or something. Like, do it about a different dead white man. Like, I don't...
They tried
like
that
they
with
always
Beatles,
do.
except they managed to suck it up. Yesterday was terrible.
Oh, really?
Not a Beatles movie.
Good. The Beatles suck.
Did you think it was a Beatles movie?
Well, no, it's just like, it's about like the impact of the Beatles, and it just wasn't great.
Oh, is it really? That's so...
This is the only good thing they have.
Right, no, but that's where it like totally failed at that, because the impact of the Beatles is that it was lightning in a bottle, not that all the songs were perfect.
Yeah.
Because not all the songs are perfect, but it was right at the right time. All the songs did really well together. Like, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't like at least one Beatles song.
That's true. Also, they had this story where, since it's in an alternate timeline where the Beatles never were a band, so John Lennon was still alive in this universe, and somehow he wasn't racist and abusive.
No, because Fame did it to him. Fame will do that to you. That's what the racist and abusers say.
And how come my dad's abusive and he's not even famous?
Is he racist?
A little bit.
Aren't all dads? Aren't they all just a little bit?
Especially Kevin.
Oh, especially.
Racist?
No
Man, I know.
Look at him go. Just, I don't know how to continue this bit.
Sometimes, oh no.
Sometimes what?
Boxer Leon Spinks.
If you're about to say this man died after you just laughed at his name.
Dude.
Leon Spinks, the Olympic athlete to beat out Muhammad Ali to become heavyweight champion, has died at 67.
You can't laugh at his name then.
His name is Spinks. His last name is Spinks.
And your name is Timothy.
My name is Leon Spinks. If you come on over here, I'll hit you with my big old booty. That's what he sounds like. He sounds like a boxer who uses his butt to box.
May you rest in peace, Mr. Spinks.
Yeah, also, like, it sucks that he died.
All right, cut this joke out of the episode, and then in 20 years, release it.
It's not a historical event.
It is to me.
Wow.
He was my hero.
Because he used his butt to box. And
Butt boxing.
Apple ass.
Butt boxing is a very prolific field, I'll have you know.
Butt box.
Yeah, bubble butt.
How dare you? Oh.
Hey, I have a flat ass. I hope you know.
That's
There's
not true.
nothing bubble about
Your
my
butt goes the opposite direction.
Sorry, yeah,
You
it's
have a
concave.
Thank you. God. Ignore me. I'm just dying.
Oh,
Well,
like
Spinks
Mr. Leon
just
Spinks.
died.
Yeah, but I'm important to you. Spinks is not.
He was my hero.
He was his hero! What's the matter with you?
You know who's my hero?
Academia?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh, true.
Have you guys have seen Super Nintendo World, right? Like the footage from
I
Super Nintendo World?
I should
Well,
have not.
Universal Studios Tokyo, or Universal Studios Japan, sorry. It's in Tokyo, but it's Universal Studios Japan. Opens Super Nintendo World this year. And it's basically like a big life-size Mario world.
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
And the video of Shigeru Miyamoto walking through the park being like, oh, this is that, is some of the cutest shit in the world. Because when he came across Mario and Luigi, it's like, hey boys, the translation reads, hey boys, what are you doing over here? Oh, the photo shoot. Okay. And then they all jump and he's like, all right, now you guys get going. Dad's got to work right now.
Dad's got him. Oh, that's so cute. Oh.
And meanwhile, Shigeru Miyamoto is like this 68-year-old man, and these giant Mario and Luigi are next to him. And they blink and they have real hair.
Ew,
I don't like that.
Ew, no, ew.
And they have voices.
Oh, wait, what?
Do they just have like a couple lines they can say?
No, the people talk.
Ooh.
Wait, okay.
They go, wahoo!
Are these in like costumes?
Yes.
Or why didn't they just put people in outfits?
Yeah, at that point.
It wouldn't have. Here's the problem. You could do that, but for the same reason, most of the time cosplaying as an anime character never works. It's because the dimensions are never right.
They gave them real hair, Andrew! You're fucked anyways!
No, the proportions have got to be right. If you went up there as Luigi, I'd go, why's your head so small? Huh? Why do you not have a rotund belly,
And
but
if I
tiny
was
little
playing-
legs?
If I was in the park playing Luigi and you came up to me like that and I go, why is your nut so big?
Oh.
You wouldn't be allowed to say that.
Who's going to tell on me?
Because you're not allowed to be in the park because you can't be within 100 feet of children.
That's a lie! It's a lie! He's
Yeah.
lying!
Why do you have to put him on blast like that?
Well, I need to let everybody know because he's in the neighborhood.
Mm.
The list, I'm not on the sex offender list!
Yeah, not yet.
What are you going to do?
That's
I don't
so
do
hard.
anything. It's you. I can't do something to get you put on the sex offender list.
What
you
do
have
you
to
know?
do it yourself.
That's not true. You could knock me out, steal my clothes, go out and sex offend someone.
And sex offend someone. Welcome back to the first episode honoring Black History Month. Nathan's gonna go sex offend someone.
No, you're going to sex offend someone in my clothes.
Oh
to
my
prank
god.
me.
That's how that works. They're just go sex offend someone and then like trade shirts with like your friends. So the police go to their house and they're like, "Oh my god, it's you!" Like,
Remember me? I was wearing this.
change hats. They come to your house. They're like, "Hey, you're under arrest for sex offending someone," and you're like, "Well, no, but I don't know who you're talking about. I have a different hat." So
I couldn't have been a sex offending on that street at that time. Sir, we
Yeah.
didn't mention any street or time. We honestly didn't even mention sex offense. Why'd you bring it up?
Sex offense?
Well, you gotta think about it as a noun. We can't just... If he's out there sex offending...
I am not. You are in my clothes.
I don't fit in your clothes. Sounds fake. As we saw by my Christmas present today. My Christmas present finally got delivered from Nathan.
Oh, okay.
And I had a bit of a lousy haul this year because we both got each other Christmas presents based on BTS. Because you know what? We love BTS.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's very healthy for a young man to love BTS.
Yes, I think so.
Anyway,
You mean
I bought us hats.
Middle-aged man?
Shut up.
Boomer.
Zoomer. Hey,
Boomer?
cut it out.
Hey, it's time. I forgot. We gotta call you from it.
Oh my god. So I got us both hats, and I was like, okay, his favorite is Suga, and my favorite is J-Hope. So I got myself a J-Hope hat, and I got him a Suga hat. And he's like, awesome, I got us jerseys. Mine says his says Suga, mine says J-Hope.
Cute.
Well, my hat gets here. Guess what? Doesn't fucking fit my head.
It's right here.
It's right here. Ready? Ready?
Okay.
No one can see it, but Kertu can, and she will react.
I will. Oh.
And then his gets here, and it fits fine. Meanwhile, finally, the jerseys get in. I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, finally. It's the biggest size in the shop. Nothing to worry about. I'm a fat boy. I know it. I need a big jersey. So they finally get here. And Nathan's like, they're a little on the small side. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
no.
I'll tough it out. It comes in. Tell you what, my biceps have never looked bigger. Couldn't move my arms. Couldn't move my shoulders. But hey, I was bursting. So basically, Christmas sucked. Even though I look like a straight up hustler.
You could be a bouncer in that shirt. No one would go near you.
No, because I had a J-Hope shirt on. They wouldn't want to hurt me. They'd be like, oh, he's weak. He likes J-Hope. Like, fuck off! J-Hope's
gin stands are the weakest by far. Hot take.
Wait a minute.
My brother's a gin stan.
And he's my favorite number 2.
Yeah,
Gin
well, then you're a
is-
weak bitch by association.
He's so funny though.
No, he is. He's very precious, but he's by far the softest member.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe
Yeah, but
different
Suga
wording.
is also by far the hardest member, so therefore I
Yeah,
like
he's
him.
my favorite. No.
Actually,
He actually
No,
can't be
that
your
one's
favorite because he's my favorite.
J-Hope's
You can use my
actually the
bias.
best because J-Hope was a street performer trying to make ends meet before he did that, and also
And
he.
Suga was an underground
So you-
rapper. You dick.
You like Hosa because he's a theater major essentially.
No. You know,
So
you can
defensive.
say Suga was an underground rapper, but you know what I hear? Korean SoundCloud rapper.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No.
That's
He
fair.
goes,
Oh, okay.
you can see it in his eyes. He goes, no,
Not this.
no.
Please.
And then it finally comes out. He goes, no.
You had to force
You
it
know
out.
what? If anyone was the Korean SoundCloud rapper, it hurts to say, but it's RM.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Right, no, because he was already doing actual stuff before.
But he
So
was
he
also an
couldn't be
underground rapper, though.
He doesn't like to acknowledge it
Yeah,
though.
but you know what?
His old stuff was.
Who else does sound like? Kendrick Lamar releases real tracks and then he goes on SoundCloud and releases like Toilet Humor or something. I don't know.
Does he really?
I don't know. Probably not.
Well, then
I think Kendrick Lamar is a SoundCloud rapper.
Do you think he has a SoundCloud though? I have a SoundCloud. I wrote a song entirely using sounds I recorded in the bathroom.
So are you telling me that you and Kendrick Lamar are on the same playing field, or what's up with
All
that?
I'm telling you is that
Spit some raps right now.
Spit
some raps.
Spit a verse.
all I'm telling you is that he's never featured on a song I wasn't on. I mean, I've never featured on a song. I've never featured on a song he wasn't on.
You featured on a song he was on?
I didn't say I did that either. I just said I've never featured on a song he wasn't on. So by association,
I mean,
we are a team.
to be fair, both statements are true.
And truth is what makes the world go round.
Oh,
Stick me with your stuffed dog.
I challenge you to a duel. Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. It's animal
You
abuse.
punched the
Animal
dog.
offending.
The fake dog. I didn't punch a real dog. I need that to be clear for everyone.
Yeah, okay, animal offender.
Jeffrey, my labradoodle,
Jeffrey Epstein?
just committed seppuku because his honor was destroyed by Nathan.
Is that stuffed animal's name?
Jeffrey Epstein, the labradoodle?
It's just Jeff actually.
Just
Just Jeff.
JJ, just Jeff.
So he doesn't
Jeff.
go with a full name?
Oh, that is his full name.
Mm.
His parents didn't know Jeffrey was a real name.
But his
They
parents,
had only heard the name Jeff before.
but you're telling me that his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Epstein,
Oh no,
decided to leave that part out of his name?
his name's Jeff Goldbottom.
Jeff Goldbottom Epstein?
Bottom.
No.
Jeff Goldstein.
Oh my
Goldblum.
goodness. Well, you know what? You're ugly.
When are we going to actually
Wow.
talk about the thing we came here to talk about?
I was actually getting ready to transition into that, but then you decided to complain about it. So you know what that means. If you complain about it, you don't get to talk about it.
Oh, so I have to sit this part of the podcast out?
Yeah.
The
We
first
are
podcast.
here we have Kertu on, not just because we love her, which we do.
Because you
And
don't.
she's
Oh,
one of our best guests and our best repeat guests.
what can I
but-
say?
We also have her on because it's February. And since it's the shortest month of the year, you know what that means? That's the month they decided was Black History Month.
Uh-huh.
My favorite
Hey, wait. Every 4 years, it's still pretty short.
That's true.
my favorite Bill Burr is a hit or miss with me sometimes, but my favorite joke he ever did was he said I can't believe they gave gay people all of June and they gave black people February. It's like they should just move Black History Month to July so black gay people just get June.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, somehow Black History Month and, the Gay Pride Month, I forgot what it was called, if they were both moved to February, because they're like, oh, you know, they'll share. Like,
Yeah,
just
but
marginalize them further.
There'd be so many protests because you can't have a parade in February for Gay
can't.
Pride.
The Gay Pride Parade.
I mean, I know, I understand, but you can't have a parade in February?
It's too
Cold
cold.
outside.
I'm sorry.
Have you seen what they wear at Gay Pride Parade?
Some people wear just nipple
I think-
tassels.
No, I think the craziest thing I ever saw at Gay Pride, or the craziest outfit, it was this guy. We were walking in the parade, we were going to, like, the actual festival, and I just saw this dude in, like, 7-inch, like, pump heels and boxer briefs. And that was it. And I was like, wow, he's very brave. Like,
I'm gonna do that next year. Or this year.
wow. That'll be a real look for you, I think. You
So
got the legs for it, probably.
So I'm just gonna open this up since it's our first day. I'm gonna open up with the significance of why it's February, and it's
Can we
actually
also open up with an apology for the fact that our first couple episodes in February had nothing to do with Black History Month?
No, this is our first episode in February
Oh shit!
because I lost last week's episode.
Wait,
it's
no,
not our
'cause we've
first-
got
it's not our first-
We've got the Watchmen episode coming up.
Yeah, but the series on Watchmen is literally about
Oh, never mind. We did good, I guess.
racism in America. It's about racism towards black people.
I retract my apology.
We literally got in the car and I was like, it's really cool that the Watchmen lined up with the first episode in February because
Oh, so that wasn't planned. Oh, interesting.
No, it wasn't planned only because we knew we wanted to get Watchmen out of the way, but this year started off really slow.
And because our Watchmen thing was a two-parter where last week's episode was about Watchmen comic, and then this week was about Watchmen the show.
I see.
So they kind of had to be at the same time.
So
it just timed out really well.
The reason it's February and the reason what is Black History Week was at the center of the equation. That's what Wikipedia says. This week was chosen because it coincided with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln on February 12th.
Who was racist?
And
the most important black man of all.
And Frederick Douglass on February 20th.
The only black man in history.
Mm-hmm. He was the only one.
And the inventor.
They went extinct.
Both of which dates black communities had celebrated together since the late 19th century. So it was basically adopted by the government from black community celebrations.
But
so it's
like it was racist.
I was going to say it's to celebrate a white man and a black man who is not much talked about, if I'll be frank.
Yeah, no, Frederick Douglass needs to get some.
You know what sucks though?
You know,
he puts
very much.
He
but
puts some
also
funk and stank in his language, though. I read his biographies are incredible. That man wrote circles around Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, for sure.
That's the sad part is that even though he's not talked about nearly enough, he's also talked about more than most any other black figure in history.
Yeah, after Frederick Douglass died, he kind of fell off. I won't lie.
Yeah, where's his good stuff now?
Yeah.
Where is he not releasing hits?
Where's his new music?
He's dead.
So?
Oh, but also...
That didn't stop Mozart! Mozart just had a piece come out.
That didn't stop, who is it? Lil Peep? Is he the one who just died and they put out new music for him?
Who?
Lil Peep?
Lil Peep? Lil Pump?
Lil Peep.
I don't know.
Lil Pump is still alive.
But there was also...
Surprisingly.
Oh, well... also, Mac Miller he put out a new album and he's dead.
People are just impersonating Avicii.
It's true.
What?
Because he was just a computer.
I don't... But...
Get it? Because electronic music isn't real music!
Wow, hot takes. Hot takes on Black History Month.
It was so so I'm reading this verbatim. Just so everybody knows.
Don't do it.
No, it's an official name. It's not. I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say if it wasn't an official name.
What's happening?
This all sounds much worse than it's going to end up being. The precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States when historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February to be, quote-unquote, Negro History Week, in his words.
That just took like a year off my life.
Yeah. So
we had to fight for a whole month.
Yeah,
God.
well, it started. The reason why it was those days is because February 12th was celebrated because of Abraham Lincoln's birthday already. Like, black communities already celebrated that day, and then they celebrated 8 days later on the 20th. Why not make it a whole week?
Yeah.
And you know what? Why not make it a whole month? And you know what? They tricked you into choosing the shortest month.
Listen, we were just happy we were getting a whole month at this point.
Absolutely. Speaking of this, my first interaction actually with Black History Month, and this is because they didn't talk about it at my high school when I was in high school.
They talked about it when I was there.
Good for you. They didn't talk about it to me.
I don't know that they did at my high school either, but I blocked out a lot of it.
The gifted classes?
The quote-unquote
the special needs classes?
Yeah, that's where you were.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't hear about it really until I worked at a gymnastics place. Wow. And on the wall, they had, like, those dumb inspirational quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do anything. Or it's like courage. And it's like a whale jumping out of the water. Like, you know, that whale he was under that water for weeks before he actually decided to actually jump.
Sucking down krill.
Come on, Free Willy, you can make it. But
sorry, that was a foul noise. I'm so sorry.
That was such an incredible sound.
That was
Um,
so foul.
but
I'm so sorry.
but they had like ones that were like questionable too, remember to not talk about your paycheck with other people. It's for your own safety, or stuff like stuff like that. But the weirdest one I always felt was, remember, it's not about February being Black History Month. It's about making each day Black History Day, which was misquoted. Which it then went on. It basically went on to say, which is why we don't celebrate Black History. Which was it went on to be misquoted to Morgan Freeman.
Ooh.
To justify them saying we don't recognize Black History.
Yeesh.
And I was like,
Ooh.
you joking, right? I'm just finding out about this and I already can't celebrate it. Me, a white man, the most oppressed minority in America.
I don't want to be here anymore.
But I think it's interesting. We just talked about it on Tuesday, but watching a series where the line is uttered from a rich white man to a black woman. Are you kidding? He literally says the most oppressed and afraid person in America right now is a white man. That is irrefutable. He said this to a black woman who has ancestry in the Tulsa massacre. And the fact that that show is going on to be downvoted to oblivion, or like downrated to oblivion by people online saying, why do they always have to make everything about race? Why do they always have to? And literally, it's just a story about black people dealing with racism. And they're like, why do they have to make everything about race? And
God,
that's kind of the state of at least entertainment right now. Is it's become a lot more accepting. It's become a lot healthier place, but there's still
plenty of people who
there's
are
still
like
plenty
that.
of people. Which brings us to a little movie called Loving, which was released 5 years ago. Let me look it up. So I'm not misquoting anything. Loving. 2016, so about 5 years ago. About tells the story of Richard and Mildred Loving, the plaintiffs in the 1967 U.S. Supreme Court decision Loving versus Virginia, which invalidated state laws prohibiting interracial marriage. Remember, this is 1967.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fucking's supposed to come after 60. That makes it sound better. 1967.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 60s fucking 7. It's like it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. It definitely. You can. Oh, okay. You know what? I lost that sentence right as I was saying it. It sounds better.
Populating, always a positive.
True. You know how 7, 8, 9? That's
7, 8, 9.
Exactly.
Yeah, right out.
Oh. Well, see, the joke lies in the subtlety, you know?
Are you kidding me? This is CC me on that. There's no subtlety. I just yelled at white people for an hour. But
all podcasts.
Oh yeah. But this movie came out in 2016 about an event that happened in 1967, and I think about you guys familiar with anti-gay propaganda?
Yeah,
like videos online.
Right.
Give me your best example of some that you guys know about.
gay people eat babies.
No, like ads, not like
not even a video you're referencing. You just said that.
Facts.
Just said that.
I don't want cold hard facts. I want like video, like ads. Jesus, you're making me look like an idiot here, Nathan. I'll go first. There's the ad that's the Jehovah's Witness ad.
Oh.
It's like I was coloring in school, and I drew. This is mom. This is you. This is dad. This is me. I didn't have time to finish coloring my brother. And then she's like, but then my friend Sally said that she has two moms, and I said that's not right. And her mom goes, "You're right. That isn't right. So let me teach you how to talk to them about how that's not right." And they pull, and it basically goes. It goes, when Jehovah made us, there are a lot of things that he made us so that we could go to the afterlife. Which, by the way, real quick critique of Jehovah's Witness. What's the point in getting more people if there's already a limited number of seats?
Yeah.
Why are you going to other houses? If it's 150 and there are 200 of you going to other houses, you know you're just hurting your chances, right?
My other critique of Jehovah's Witnesses is Jehovah is a lame name. Why would God be named Jehovah?
Yeah, when God is so much stronger. It sounds German. God.
Yeah, a tertiary critique of Jehovah's Witness. Why be made to die? You know? Why? You know, I don't get that. Why would you want to be made and have your dad be like, "Cool, I'll catch you in like 60 years, bro." Like, what? Why would you like?
I don't know.
Maybe that's what my dad did. He'll come back when I'm 60 and just murder me.
Oh, cool.
Because you got to live till you're 108 to fulfill the prophecy.
He's gonna try.
Oh, he's gonna try.
He's gonna try. Well, by the time I'm 60, my dad will be like,
"What do you think he's gonna do? Is he gonna throw a glove at the ground in front of you and say, 'We're gonna fence with real swords'?" And you'll be like, "Finally, my chance to prove myself against my father."
No, he's gonna come up to me and he's gonna go, "I'm gonna kill you now, son," and then I'll break his fragile bones.
Oh, he'll let you know first. That's very courteous of him.
I will be 60. My bones will be strong like an ox.
And he'll be 80?
No, my dad was, what, like 30, 40 when he had me?
God, imagine being 20 when your child is born.
I don't know. I spent a lot of time around boomers, and that's when they had their kids, so...
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Boomer,
yeah, he's spending time with his friends. His colleagues.
You holding your breath.
You're like gearing up for that one.
Keep throwing a temper tantrum.
I look like an old... not to call back to the racist past of Disney, but I look like one of their old cartoons.
Oh no!
It's so bad. Like, you look at all that stuff. Like a majority of popular culture today is based in that.
Yeah.
Not to mention the first critically acclaimed film was Birth of a Nation, a movie all about how the Ku Klux Klan saves the day.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's got everything that you wouldn't want to have.
Like I remember I was thinking about this the other day because for one of my theater classes we had to read Uncle Tom's Cabin. Sorry, I just drank water, so I'm hiccuping. We had to read Uncle Tom's Cabin, and I was thinking about what. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
That was so like tender. Yeah, we had to read Uncle Tom's Cabin, which I despised the whole way through, and I knew I would. But it reminded me of an earlier theater class in like freshman year where we were learning about minstrel shows, which I already knew I was in for a bad time. Yep. And our professor showed us the Song of the South, which is Disney's like it's an animated Disney short, I guess, from like ages ago, where like everyone, like all of it, everyone's favorite characters were putting on a minstrel show. And I frankly have probably never had something scar me more than that. I think about that nearly every day because of how unsettled it made me nauseous. Like from that day on, I have never felt right about like watching any Disney film or like going to Disney World or anything. Like it all just like which not like I knew Walt Disney was like a racist dude, but I don't know, I didn't realize I never realized it. Like
Wait,
it never.
Walt Disney wasn't a perfect man?
I know, shocking.
No, they almost touched on it in Saving Mr. Banks. They almost touched on how bad of a person he was.
Really?
Like they go like, oh, he's being really mean to this author right now. He's like being really terrible and abusing her. But then they're like, but that's all he did. He did nothing else.
No, he was, other than that, stellar person, probably.
But I mean, that's why Mickey Mouse has gloves. That's why all those characters have gloves.
Is it really?
Yeah, because old cartoons, the original cartoons, were all based on minstrel shows because they were the most popular shows to
Is
see
that
in
why
theater.
Sonic has gloves?
Oh,
I doubt
Sonic has roots in minstrel shows.
God.
Gotta go fast.
I mean, I don't think intentionally. Like, I imagine that Sega was like, let's like give him gloves.
Probably.
He's super
Well, I
cool.
mean, it's probably referential to cartoons, which
Which-
is referential
Yeah.
to. So by proxy,
Wow.
Sonic is blackface.
It's messed up. We should email
Um,
Sega.
Sonic is blackface confirmed.
Sonic is blackface.
You heard it here
He
first,
is.
folks.
It's not something you do, it's something you are. It's something deeply rooted within you. Innate.
It's not an act; it's a culture.
My culture is not a costume.
It's just blue hair dye and gloves.
God. It's like slicked back.
Yes. So, but just to get some context, and most people I imagine listening to this are probably already familiar. But this stuff is shockingly recent. Like,
Yeah.
there is no reason, like, one of the major reasons why we don't see a lot of color photos from the time is because the technology wasn't widely available. There are a lot of people, I don't know how much I believe about the whole they print photos from this time period in color or in black and white to make you think it was further in the past. That's kind of just how photos were printed at the time, and that's kind of how like we got those, like we got they got the negatives, and it was easier to print them in black and white than it was in color. It was a different process.
Well, the problem with a lot of people like say stuff like that, like the technology for this was invented here, so clearly everything after that doesn't use that technology is just them trying to like trick you. The problem with that is that you're then ignoring the fact that just because a technology was invented, that doesn't mean that it was widely available yet.
Like the fact that we had a computer in 1960, but no one really had them until the 90s.
Exactly. Like just because something was invented at one point doesn't mean everyone could use it until much later.
Which I am not in any way trying to take away from the fact that there is like this Mandela effect of thinking this is all much further away than it really is.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of white men suffer from.
Oh, for sure.
White men suffer from like the whole idea that Birth of a Nation was the last racist thing this country ever did, even though it was absolutely not.
No. Sure wasn't.
It sure wasn't. Like even the fact, like this will blow your socks off, Kertu. I would imagine you don't know about this, but the Lone Ranger is based on a real black sheriff who had to cover his face so he would not get killed while he was enacting justice.
This also may shock you. I have never seen The Lone Ranger. I don't know anything about it.
Right? No, that's okay. But like, just the cultural icon of the Lone Ranger is based on a white man who wears a mask just because he can, whereas the black man has to wear a mask for his own protection.
Yeah.
So as we talk about, as you think about this stuff, you got to remember this shit's in our backyard.
Oh, for sure.
Ruby Bridges is 67 years old right now. 64, maybe. I can't remember the exact age.
Who is that?
The first black woman in an integrated school in Louisiana.
Oh, that's right. I forgot her name.
No, yeah, that's okay. It becomes an issue of forgetting the past, obviously. Like all history. It's like if we forget the past, we think we'll move on.
Yeah.
But really, if you forget the past, you're going to do it right over again.
Yeah.
So that brings us back to Loving, a movie that was released in 2016 about a 1967 Supreme Court trial about an interracial couple that it was a black woman and a white man, and they fell in love. It's actually the movie does a very good job at painting a very beautiful love story. I mean, obviously, it probably wasn't all roses for them.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, in the movie, it's not all roses for them. I mean, it probably wasn't all roses between them.
Yeah.
Like, they probably had their differences, like normal people.
Like normal couples, yeah.
But there was a lot of outrage that came out around this. And the reason I asked you guys to think of those gay ads and those anti-gay ads is because there's some of those ads that say, God believes that so much is okay. A man and a woman is fine. A white man and a black woman is fine. A black man and a white woman is fine. And these are the same people who probably 20, 30 years ago were saying this isn't okay. And there's still there were people who were upset about this movie when it came out. This was 2016. And people have the audacity on the internet to say racism's gone.
Oh, for sure.
Racism's gone. Where did it go? What do you mean gone?
Is it hiding? How do we find it?
APB, not a BPB. What?
Did you say BBP?
No, I said BPB.
Oh, BPB.
What is... No, never mind. I don't want to know. I don't...
Blue penis! From Watchmen!
For Sonic? Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, it's Sonic.
I mean, we were just talking about...
Oh my god, Sonic has a big blue penis. Not to distract from the actual serious topic we're talking about, but you can't... You gotta stop making me think about Sonic. I don't want it to get to the point where I think of, like, a history of racism in America and have Sonic be part of the thesis.
You just think of a big blue penis immediately. You can't.
Dr. Manhattan or Sonic?
Definitely Dr. Manhattan. There's no way Sonic's dick is that big. Oh my god, why are we talking about this?
You know how fat Sonic is?
Yeah, but you know whose dick is bigger than Sonic's? Knuckles.
Dr. Manhattan is God, but also Sonic either is a god or could kill God.
I firmly believe Dr. Manhattan created Sonic in his image, And what would a god do than create?
And therefore, equal size penis.
Yeah, equal or greater than, I think.
So
I think he bestowed that on his son.
If anyone who's listening is an artist, I would like to request an art piece that is from the behind shot of Sonic and Dr. Manhattan sitting in like the Superman pose where their hands are on their shoulders and they got the elbows out and everything, but then their like legs are spread a little bit and schlong sticking down from behind.
Right.
But I don't want to see their head. It's got to be just like lower back, top of frame.
So one of the main reasons I wanted to talk about is not necessarily because of the film. I wanted to bring up the film because of the protest, but I wanted to talk to Kertu and have her share a bit of her perspective because surprise, surprise,
I'm mixed. I didn't know you wanted me to say that.
Oh no, I didn't know what you would finish it with, but I figured it would be something prescient. So,
but yeah, because I think mixed people, in particular, like people who are mixed with being like black and white. I can't speak for every mixed person ever, clearly. But I think people who are like mixed black and white go through a very unique experience, I can't speak for other mixed people who are mixed with different races because I don't know if they go through this as well.
Absolutely.
But we go through a very unique experience where like no one claims us, so we kind of just have to be our own little group. Because I've seen from black people and white people on the internet, like when talking about someone who is mixed, like either they're not black enough to be black or they're not white enough to be white. Which no, I don't think any mixed person would ever be like, oh yeah, I'm white. Because that just feels, I'm like, if I were to claim that, like, I'm clearly not white passing. Like, my skin is clearly a little darker. It's a little light right now, but it's a little darker than a white person's, and my hair is clearly not that of a white person's.
It's the blue room. It's the blue room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, blue room. Sonic!
God. It all comes back. It all comes full circle. Sonic is
That's
deeply rooted in
you,
Black culture, I
me.
think.
Now I'm the one who's 43. It all comes back. It all comes back.
Okay, get back to your very serious and personal topic that you were just.
But no, because just the whole thing about like we are not accepted in any community, and it feels very strange to be alienated from two communities who you like I grew up being like, oh yeah, like I would say I'm like a Black person who is also white. Crazy how that happens when you're two races. But then like as I got older and like the internet became more widely available, I was like I saw people that were like, nah, and I was like, oh, so we're just in this all by ourselves then. But I mean, I think I probably should have realized something sooner. Partially there's this story my parents used to tell me about when I was like a baby. I think I was a baby. And we were all at the grocery store, simply vibing, having a good time, getting our groceries, and we were at like the checkout line, I guess. And some man came up to my family and looked at me and then looked at my mother in the face and said, "You can't even tell what color she is." Which I, I when my parents first told me that story, I said, "And why didn't I hit this man?" And they were like, "You were like a baby." And I was like, "Okay, well that makes more sense." But still,
Now
oh
you're
my god.
a foot taller.
Okay, boomer.
Ah! That makes me the enemy. But this shit's real.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm trying to think if I've had any other like race related. Oh, and like it's not specifically related to being mixed, but like I think, I mean, I know we as a country like to believe that we are not as racist as we see, or like as we think, or not as we think we are, but like as we actually are. But like when was this? In like 2016 or something probably. I was like scrolling through like Tumblr. I'm sorry to say, as we all are at 16 years old. And I saw like suggested blogs to follow, and I was like, oh neat. And I was looking through them, and one of them was just like an anti-Black blog, and I was like, why is this? Firstly, why is this suggested to me? And secondly, those are things. And I went on to that blog to see what was up, and it was pretty much exactly what you'd think. And they were like calling Black people monkeys and whatnot. And I was like, what? And then there were suggested blogs for that blog, and they were just all like the same thing. And it was so jarring. Like I was not right for like a few weeks after that, I think. Especially because I was in Louisiana at the time with my dad. And I was just like, ooh, like does not feel great to be in the South and see a bunch of like anti-Black propaganda immediately. Yeah, it's really frightening seeing that, and then going into like classes at school, where you're learning about like for like 3 seconds learning about like any sort of Black history, and it's so uncomfortable being there, like specifically being in a predominantly white school, because those are the only schools I've really been to. I've never, aside from like Walnut Hills, like all of the schools I've been to growing up and now have been predominantly white, and I have been one of the like 3 Black people, or just 3 people of color in general, really. But it's always so upsetting and frustrating to be in those lessons where you're like, oh, like it's Black People Day, time to learn about slavery, and like you're the only Black person there, and like I like whenever that's been me, I've just all I can do is sit there and think about how no one else understands the gravity of it because they've not lived it. Which of course I have not lived through slavery. But like I mean I've definitely had racist things like said to me, and like I guess not done to me. I don't know that you can do racist like
I mean, it's also a thought. I mean,
yeah.
empathetically, if I had knowledge that my ancestors were treated a certain way because they literally looked exactly like I do. Like, if I thought that somewhere in the past, fat, ugly, big-haired, brown-haired, like, chubby, big boy.
How many adjectives are you throwing?
Why did I lay so many fat adjectives there? It's my off day right now.
She's autism.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to... That's right.
There's
the other one.
History there. People used to kill people who had special needs.
Exactly.
But you were like, if people killed fat people.
They did. They absolutely did. And it's a problem we don't talk about. It's because they needed meat, and we understand why.
Oh, God.
Hashtag go learn about the Donner Party. But have either of you seen Dear White People?
Yes.
I haven't seen it, but I know of it and what it is.
But there is a scene in it that I reminded me of there are several scenes where the teacher goes, "Oh, we're learning about slavery today." And then all the eyes turn towards the one black student in class.
Yeah, that is a very real thing that happens.
I've seen it happen. I've watched it. I've like my freshman year, I had a really good friend of mine who was black from Montana in college, and we were talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about something in my philosophy class. And
Sonic.
We were talking about philosophy of race or something, or how Plato looks if you're a minority, or how like deeper thought looks if you're not the ruling class. And my friend was very outspoken, and he spoke his mind a lot, and which is absolutely right, and he should.
Yeah.
But he liked to be the center of attention, but he didn't say anything this time. And everyone kind of wasn't saying anything either, and the teacher went, "Well, Aaron, do you have anything to say?"
Oh, I hate when teachers do that
and
so much.
And I loved his reaction, because he was like, what? Which is one of my favorite things he would do. He would call people. I love that he would call people on their bullshit, but it was an isolated experience. It was a, but I remember because you remember shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I've definitely had that happen to me a handful of times.
Yeah. But yeah, so it gets to be a matter. It gets to be a matter of ignorance. But a lot of that ignorance, I believe, is purposeful.
Oh, for sure.
Especially from what I've seen from relatives of mine that I struggle with. The fact that it's a purposeful or a willingful ignorance.
Yeah.
Or honestly, with some of them, they can cross over into prejudice, like a straight up prejudice. Not because the racism's there no matter what. Even if they don't know about it, they've got it. Like they've already got it. If they're already trying to ignore the problem,
there's a lot of internalized prejudice in a lot of people, and it really, like you were saying, it just boils down to like willful ignorance. Like
exactly.
Shit.
And I would get my cousin. I had to fucking block him. I would get monthly updates of why Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are trying to make our country look like the shithole countries they came from. You know, America.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What do you mean?
And it goes hand in hand. It's interesting because back to Birth of a Nation, that punishment that the Ku Klux Klan doles out is always about, and it's always been about for the longest time, that damsel in distress complex, which is first of all bullshit, because women don't need 20 different men to come in and defend them for their honor.
Nah.
Especially when so many cases have come forward that the women were just like, "Oh no, it definitely wasn't purposeful. in these cases. Which obviously, no, not to do victim blaming, but when there is a historic precedent for women being like I don't, there's a term for it, but when like, well, it's a fuck, they treat it like a fucking fetish. When women are attracted to black men, like in positions of power, during Jim Crow. But
that is still a very prevalent thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I don't know, I don't think this conversation is necessarily one worth having, but I think it's a thought worth having. I wonder, would the Supreme Court decision had been different if it was a black man and a white woman?
No, I was wondering that too when I saw the movie synopsis and I saw that the woman was black. Like, this country has always had a very special hatred for black men. And I'm not quite sure why, but it's very prevalent to this day, as we've seen in the many events that have happened recently.
Absolutely.
And kind of going off of the fetishization thing, because that's another thing that like mixed people go through specifically. Not to bring it, like, not to refocus. But it's like, because I've seen posts of like screenshots of like Pinterest where like people will type in like mixed babies, and like that's a very real thing, and like there are so many white people who fetishize black people to the point where they are obsessed with the idea of having a mixed child, and it makes me feel so gross every time I see it, because it's just so strange to know that there is a whole group of people that look at people like me and they're like, oh man, I'd like to pop one of you out. Like, what? Why? Like, it's such a strange thought.
Yeah, the way hearing you say that is a special kind of funny to me. I don't know why.
Like, it's so graphic and odd. Like, just seeing it fills me with like a rush of emotions that I cannot name, because they are so, it's something I never thought I would experience. It's just so, it instills me with so much discomfort that I can't think about it for too long, because it makes me want to vomit. Like, I can't imagine looking at like a white person and being like, like, man, wouldn't I?
But who? Other than Tom Holland and like Chevy Chase, who?
Who what?
Who would I go,
Me.
Not you.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I can't imagine looking at a person of another race and being like, oh man, I hope the fetus that I grow in my body looks like you. God.
Yeah, for the sole purpose of skin color. It's like,
yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, once those children, it's like how people idealize the ideas of like puppies or kittens. They're like, oh, they're so sweet, but you know they grow up and they're like you just know they don't treat their children right. You know they do. Like, anyone who like is in love with the idea of having like a baby or toddler who is a certain race, you know, they devalue them immediately after they grow up. Like, it makes me so upset and like so violent. And that, like, along with that, going back to the fetishization of like dark skin, like black people, I've seen so many TikToks of like Ashley from like Mason High School talking about how much she like, just like girls talking about, white girls like talking about how much they want to date a black man and how hot they think black men are and how they're only attracted to black men. And like people will get defensive of that because they're like, oh, it's a preference. And I'm like, well, no, because
sexuality. You can't have a preference for race.
No.
You can only have a preference for Sonic.
Like, having a preference is like, oh, I like girls with curly hair. Not, oh, I only like people of a specific race. Because
as fast as light.
And are blue.
And
participate in minstrel shows.
Oh. And he helps out quilting clubs.
He helps out quilting clubs?
Oh,
he gives
yes,
them
actually,
his quills.
There's just a side note, go look up the Sonic Bible
Yes.
on Polygon, because there's a Sonic Bible with the original rules of what Sonic is, and one of those is he regularly helps out at local quilting clubs.
Now, see, I can't tell if you're joking about the Sonic Bible thing.
I'm not joking.
It's not a
Okay.
joke. Get you a man who helps out quilters.
And also, Dr. Eggman was his father figure. But
That's real shit.
That's one of the things I get out. I kind of relate to. I can't believe earlier. I'm still thinking about it. I can't believe I forgot I was autistic. I forgot I was autistic because obviously I didn't forget I was autistic, but I can't believe I
but
think
you
about
didn't reference that when talking about being marginalized.
my white side was going, all right, now don't talk about it like it's you. Don't talk about it like it's you. While completely forgetting that, hey, look, it also might be you. Obviously not, because I'm pretty high functioning, except when I spurg out, man.
Would you what?
When I spurg out.
What does that mean?
Is that a term?
Yeah. It's short for Asperger's.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. I've never heard that before.
It might be just a term between me and a couple other people I know, but I've definitely heard it before. It also might just be Aiden told me I spurred out. And I thought it was funny, so I reappropriated it.
Oh, reclaiming. Yes, King.
Besides the point, I find it incredibly fascinating. Honestly, at this point, usually it was infuriating whenever something new would come out and people would lose their goddamn minds. Like, I used to get so angry when people would lose their minds over Captain Marvel, just because Brie Larson says, I don't need to worry about the opinions of old white men who don't like me.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't have to bother me. And then, in a cry of absolute dumbassery, the entirety of white incel internet went, Brie Larson is an SJW here to ruin the white man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She's racist.
She didn't write the line.
And that's what led to
just in, white people are racist against white people now.
It goes so deep. So many layers.
It fascinates me now. I became fascinated today when I saw that a number of people don't like Watchmen because it deals with race issues. It fascinates me when I see people miss the point of things just because they see the race. And this is one of those things where I think we faltered for a while when we tried to become a colorblind society. We were attempting for the wrong thing.
I
don't see color.
Well, because it was the thought process that we're going to treat everyone equally because it doesn't matter what color you are. But the fact is that even though that has the right intentions, it still has negative effects because I don't look like you, Kertu.
Yes.
And
Comparing.
you're comparing. Okay. And the fact is I my best way to walk a mile in your shoes is empathizing with what you've dealt with and your history. Yeah. The fact is I can't do that if that doesn't matter. And that's what that was doing.
Like, it's the phrase colorblind, like in reference to race, not like in reference to people who are legit colorblind.
Colorblind. It's the one disability we don't go down with.
They can't keep the blue god.
Oh my god, if you go back to Sonic one more time, I'm ripping your glasses off.
Someone's got to keep it light.
But like the phrase colorblind has always sat in such an uncomfortable place for me, and I could never figure out why until my sophomore year of college. Because we were talking about it in my Shakespeare class with my favorite professor. Shout out Dr. O'Leary. Oh my god.
Love her.
I would die for Dr. O'Leary. I am too. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Oh, I was last semester. I wish I was in her class this semester. I adore her. But anyway, um, and we were in a Shakespeare class, and she was talking to us about like Shakespeare casting, and how a lot of people like went by like colorblind casting. And then she was like, and actually, that's super harmful to say. And then like her explaining why it was harmful, like it made me realize why it was harmful, obviously, because she's a teacher, so she do be teaching.
She knows things.
But she does know things, and she tells them to other people, so we know the things. But it's the matter of like, yes, it was meant with good intentions, where it's like, hey, like we're not gonna judge you or like cast you based off of your skin tone, because that's not cool to do. Which great. However, the phrase colorblind, it implies that you don't care what race a person is, which like it's good that you don't have a prejudice. However, it's almost worse to pretend that it's not there, like to pretend that the person's race is not there.
Exactly.
Like it hurts me.
If I was say I'm casting Romeo and Juliet, and I'm going completely colorblind, but somehow and this is outlandish, because if anybody did this, I truly believe them to be colorblind, and they got all Capulets as white people and all Montagues as black people. The audience sees that. People recognize it. It's the same reason that if I were to cast Romeo and Juliet as girls, no one's going to be like, oh, they're just playing Romeo and Juliet. Their gender doesn't matter. People are going to put the fact that they're lesbians onto that. And that's not a bad thing. That's absolutely not a bad thing. But that's how people's minds work.
Yeah.
And you'll lose your audience if you try and say, ignore their gender, ignore their race. Because the fact is that's important. And that's why this consciousness is so important.
Well, also, if you're like, I don't see your race, that's also basically going to someone and saying, I don't see the history of oppression that you have had to deal with.
Exactly.
What
blue.
was it? Oh yeah. As a casting director, or just a director in general, like I see this, I think about it a lot, where it's important. Like it would be one thing where if you're casting a show and you're going like, hey, I'm completely colorblind, like you can't just be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't be ignorant to the message that will spread to your audience. So like if you were casting Romeo and Juliet and you did the thing where you cast all Capulets as black and all Montagues as white, I don't know why I looked at my hand like, what is this? Like it would be one thing if you were like, oh yeah, I just wanted to be quirky, I guess. But you have to understand the message that is going to send to your audience. Like that would be, now that you said that is an interesting casting idea, and now I want to direct that version of it, because oh my god.
Honestly, same. I've been thinking about it ever since I said it on accident.
Yeah, I kind of have been too. I'm like, damn. Like that's kind of.
Don't know enough about theater.
Yeah, but then the problem with that is you'd run the risk of going, yeah, we fixed racism at the end because two people.
Oh. No, God, I hate the last scene so much, where they're like, oh man, maybe these teenagers shouldn't have killed themselves. Yeah, like effing chat for these poor children. Ugh.
Like, only one will die, and every night we flip a coin before doing it.
My high school did that.
Who dies.
My high school did that.
Damn it! It's not original.
But wait, what did they do?
They had different endings. They wrote different, not wrote, but they pulled different endings for Romeo and Juliet to explore what it might be like if something went wrong with the plan. Like a happy ending where before Romeo drinks the poison, Juliet wakes up.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think kind of, because we're coming to the end of our time here, which sucks, which means that we're gonna have to have Kertu on again soon, which of course we will, because it's just some of our best content.
What can I say? I don't have 2 majors for nothing. This noggin can hold so much knowledge.
So
I'm pretty sure we just got flexed on.
we did. I know we did. I'm in my computer 1 major.
I'm about to add the major just because she said that.
It's just, I mean, not to sound like a hippie white neoliberal.
Wow.
I don't know
It
why
fucking
but
sucks.
I thought you were
Away from your
gonna say
boomer
hippie
roots.
white neo-Nazi. And I was
Not
like,
neo-Nazi. No, but it
Oh my
sucks.
God.
It sucks to hear and it sucks to see. But it's unendingly fascinating to me, honestly, and this could be a whole nother conversation we have. But the hoops people have to jump through to justify their own prejudices.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you, Kertu.
Thank you for having me on again.
And thank you for being open and honest and sharing a part of your story. And you absolutely didn't have to, but you offered that. Thank you so much.
Well, I think when you hear something like that from an actual like person of color who has experienced that, it's like, oh hey, maybe this does happen. Like I know you can only experience it like secondhand, but I mean, you know, hearing something like that, like because that's always been the reaction I get whenever I tell the story about like that guy seeing me as a baby and like being super racist and gross. Like every person I've ever said that to has had that exact same look on their face where their eyes just like almost bug out of their head because they're like, what? Like a person said that in real life. Because it's just so like, and I think it is part of that like willful brainwashing where we're like, oh, America's not that racist, but you hear something like that and you're like, oh, like definitely happened in this millennia, like in the past like decade.
The only reason
Not
Nathan didn't react is because he was thinking about Sonic.
Yeah.
Nope, you thought about Sonic. You got hard. Fucking
The reaction was because you got to a particularly spicy Sonic thought.
Wait, so before we end this podcast, I think we need to decide if we figured out if Sonic is good or bad. Because I think we started by saying Sonic was blackface.
Well,
but now we're talking about him in a pretty positive light.
Well, listen, no, okay. I will be the first to. I won't be the first to say. You know, I feel like having a big dick does not mean that you are good. Mainly, you know, it is I don't actually know that I want to go out on public and say this. I don't know that I want to start. I don't know if I want to get up on my big dick soapbox.
I was gonna say, like for example, Mickey Mouse is not inherently a bad character.
Yeah.
He's got a rough history right there at the beginning, but I think that's part of the nuance of being a fucking human being and being able to.
Are you saying that Mickey Mouse is a human being?
Yes. I'll explain how we got to look like that off podcast because I don't want to scare you too much on the podcast. But it's part of the nuance of being a human being and understanding that the world's not black and white. Like,
but Mickey Mouse is black and white.
Damn.
I hate you.
You know what? I'm black and white, so let's take note of that.
But that's 2 points against Andrew.
And just like the production of Romeo and Juliet, we solved racism. Ladies and gentlemen,
congratulations!
You see me on that. We finally solved racism.
Wow. We'll be in the books.
But that kind of stuff, yes, it no longer represents that.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to remember that that's where it came from, because you have to remember that it's not because when you watch. I'm not saying like when you watch Mickey, if you're not thinking about all the minstrel shows that you see happening,
so what
you're listening out. But you remember that because you go, oh yeah, that's how fucking deep it is.
So what you're saying is Sonic was blackface, but now he's Big Dick Boy.
I can almost guarantee you that at no point was anyone creating Sonic ever thinking about anyone outside of their own culture. They were just thinking about how to
so
market.
Sonic
was black.
Sonic is white.
Is Big Dick Boy.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Wow.
All right, where can they find us, Nathan?
You can find us on Instagram at CCMeThatPod, Twitter CCMe_on_that. You can find me at Instagram and listen to join me at Twitter at NatsHole. You can find Andrew at both at agent_Leonard. You can contact us, CCMeThatPod@gmail.com, or you can leave a review at Apple Podcasts or Anchor.fm. That's Anchor.fm. And remember, Sonic is the one true way. Big schlong, big dong, King Kong, Sonic.
Is
What
that
are you
a
guys find you,
haiku?
Kertu?
Oh, my Instagram is at Kertu Bell. It's KERTUBELL, and that's the only social media I really have.
There you go.
And you can find me in Sonic's bed. All right.
What a statement.
You're absolutely
You can't fire me.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, everyone.